Yo, what's up guys? Teacher Paul over here, and today we are talking about Norway economy. So apparently, Norway has decided to go against the cashless mentality which they previously had. Now, I don't know a lot about this. However, I had heard that Norway was on its cashless revolution. Virtually nobody, virtually nobody, almost nobody uses cash in Norway. I had seen that previously, that there was a cashless revolution, and Norway was going to become the first society or the first country to go cashless and not use cash anymore. However, this is some recent updates. This video has been posted, and it's talking about Norway to legislate the right for consumers to use cash in a bid to protect the economy. So, fill me in if you're from Norway. You couldn't use cash. You didn't have like the option to use cash, I would suppose. Here in the UK, I guess that you're allowed to use any means of payment. The business needs it to give you that option. Okay, but let's take a look at the video and then we'll comment on it, okay? Don't forget to like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you agree that it should go cashless or if you agree that it should not go cashless. Some people say that a cashless economy does not sustain itself. But anyways, let's take a look at this. Oops, I don't want this screen over here. Let's make it smaller. Bear with me just 1 second. Here we go. Let's go, guys.
First, something we often talk about on the late debate.
Oh, by the way, this is from Australia. This is Australian news about Norway.
But first, something we often talk about on the late debate, and that's the dangers of a cashless society, though it doesn't seem many Australian politicians are concerned. Others, however, are starting to take note. The Norwegian government is passing legislation to guarantee the rights of consumers to use cash when buying goods and services. Now, what's interesting about that is that Norway has one of the highest uptakes of digital use. A recent survey found that only 3% of Norwegians had used cash in their last purchase at a physical store.
3%.
The Norwegian government, though, sees risks that they want to mitigate. They want to protect consumers who don't want to use digital by guaranteeing them the right to still use cash. And they want to protect the economy in the event of, say, an internet collapse, so that people can still buy and sell with cash in plentiful supply. This follows the Swedish government's decision to compel banks to offer cash withdrawals. Now, here in Australia, just recently, we've talked about the fact, Caleb, in Western Australia, Bank West closed not only 60 branches, but all the ATMs associated with them, saying we are going fully digital.
Wow.
And of course, we remember well Bob Katter at the Australian Parliament Cafe getting all upset because even in the Parliament Cafe, they wouldn't take his cash. Do you think eventually Australia are going to start to cotton on that we need to do something to guarantee trade?
Well, as you say,
Before they talk about Australia, let me just say one thing. I don't use cash. Do you guys use cash? Like, do you guys literally go out and pay cash? I've never. I've stopped doing that for. I don't think I've ever used cash here in the UK. Like, by my own choice. If I did, it's just because out of like I was kind of forced to, or because there are some shops here, even though it's in the law that you're allowed to use, or that they should give you the means of payment. I think I remember one fish and chip shop that's told me, look, we only take cash because cash is king. And he was my landlord, so at the time. So I did abide by his rules, other than going all Karen and saying, you must accept my credit card. I don't pay credit, I pay debit. Credit cards are dangerous. Anyways, I'm getting off track here. But when was the last time you used cash? And do you think the internet will fall one day? I don't know. But if we're talking about investments, then I agree, maybe you should keep some money in gold, but then that's not cash, that's gold, that's physical gold. But for the society to run smoothly, I don't know if we need cash unless you are really, really concerned that, something might happen to the digital era. Computers might stop working. I don't feel that danger. I don't think that's gonna happen. But let me know your thoughts in this.
So we do at least have Bob Catter, and look, someone has to wake up.
And I would love to know why it's dangerous to have a cashless society. Let's take a look.
And again, I would say this is an easy one for the coalition to go with leading into the next federal election, which is about a year away or probably less, right?
Yep.
You can be attacked from all angles digitally, be it by China or Russia or any other nation on the face of the planet.
Okay.
If you have cold, hard cash, it cannot be stolen from you unless someone physically breaks into your house and takes it from you. You can have an entire country brought to its knees by hacking, entire financial systems brought down.
That's a good point.
Access to your money revoked like that if it's all held digitally. Which
But then again, if you're not spending money in printing cash, you could spend that money in security, I don't know. Can't you protect yourself at all times against that as a country? I don't know. I would say unless, there isn't unless the hackers are much more intelligent than the government. But I don't know. I feel like if you invest the money that you don't print cash anymore, you invest that money in cybersecurity, you should be okay.
at the end of the day,
and then put all your physical money, like I think Norway has $1 trillion or more, put that all in gold. I don't know. But guys, I'm not an expert. I'm just curious.
Is the absolute importance of cash. You could kill a country in one fell swoop if you don't have cash. And of course, cash mitigates the risk of anyone knowing how you are spending your money. And, I know some people go, oh, but I like using my bank card. Look, I say to you again, if you're a man, if you want to buy something that your wife doesn't know about, you need cash. And likewise, if your wife wants to go and buy a handbag,
that is
she
silly.
needs cash in order to do it without her husband knowing about it.
Or how about this? Be a honest and transparent person with your significant other. He lost the debate right there. What nonsense he is saying right now. Anything else that comes out of his mouth will be questionable. Come on, man. No, that is so dumb. That is not an argument that I'm going to follow. But one thing that is interesting is I would like to know how often does the card machine stop working? Because that just came to my mind. Sometimes I go to the shop and they say, sorry, system is down. But how often does that truly happen? Especially in Norway, who seems to be built for this.
To nefarious purposes in order for you to sell cash.
At the most basic level, we all need cash in some way. And you look at, you go on a bus, for instance, right? And most states now allow you to use your credit card in place of like a MyKey or whatever.
Okay, but when are they going to talk about Norway? Because they're talking about Australia this whole time. Let's just jump into... Okay, Norway fighting against war on cash.
She's the Justice and Public Security. This quote from one of the Norwegian leaders. She's the Justice and Public Security Minister, Emily Engemel. She said the role of the government is to secure the preparedness of society. To only base oneself on digital payment system increase the vulnerability of a society. Well, what blessed common sense. Why can't we hear that from any of our ministers? I'll tell you why. Because if the banks, if the government succeed in getting just digital currency, you are a lot easier to control. It was just last week we were talking about the fact that banks have all these restrictions on what you can and can't spend your money on if indeed you want to spend some of your money on cryptocurrency. They take it upon themselves to limit you, all in the name of keeping you safe. We just don't want you to fall foul of fraud. That would be terrible. I've heard from family, friends, who contacted me after that part of the show we did and said, it happened to me. I was trying to buy crypto. My bank, most of them are in the West, so they said Bank West, similarly slapped us on the hand and said, no, we can't. This is why cryptocurrency was created. It was created by people who were sick of the control and the corruption of the central banking system, and that is why they created it. And the more the banks flex and the governments flex, bending people to their will in terms of a cashless society, the more we're going to see people turn to cryptocurrency. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm just like, dig your own grave, government. Keep going, banks. They keep showing their hand. It was just last week we were also talking about the fact that Bankwest was like, we're going digital only. Prior to that, Macquarie Bank obviously said they'll be cashless by the end of this year. Combank's headed that way also. ANZ, they've all made plans to shut down more branches, have cashless branches. Some of them, not all of them. But all of their branches without.
Okay, yeah, so this is actually a disappointing video for me because I thought they were going to talk about Norway and why they decided to go back on, on the idea of being cashless. Because I understand the whole implication and I understand what she's saying. I kind of agree with her. If the banks are controlling your money, because you only have digital, then yeah, that is a cause of concern. However, you must be able to trust your government and you must be able to put some trust in the people who are controlling your money, because even today, like your bank balance, even if you think it's cash or it might not even exist in the vaults. Like if you have $10 million, you can't just go and take it from the bank because the bank doesn't have that money in store. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, that's a whole different story about banking. You still need to be able to trust the bank. And the whole idea is that you're not going to store all your money at home physically. You're not. Even if you decide, okay, I don't want a cashless society, you're still going to have to depend on the bank for, to store your money. Because let's say you have 100K, you're not going to keep $100,000 or whatever your currency is in your house. I don't think so. I don't suppose you would. So at the end of the day, you're still going to be at the mercy of the bank who's storing all the money. And it's just a complicated situation, which I don't really comprehend because I don't think they went straight to the point. One guy was talking about, well, maybe I skipped the good part, but they were more focused on Australia. However, I will still upload this video because I want to hear from you guys in Norway, and I think you guys have more reliable information. I must say I skipped his argument after he talked about being faithful or being secretive with your with your significant other, which is something that really put me off of whatever he was saying. But at the end of the day, the fact is, what are the pros and cons of going cashless? What are the pros and cons of not going cashless? Or why is Norway going back and trying to save the economy? If you guys could enlighten me and help me out there, because that video, that debate really led to nowhere productive, in my opinion. In terms of why Norway is going back. The debate had other good points, yeah, but I still don't know why Norway decided to go back. What did they learn that led them to go back? What did they find out? You know what I'm saying? And as I said, you got to put trust in the government to know what they're doing. And I think Norway is known for taking measures and not putting all their eggs in one basket, taking measures before it happened, before the problem happens, I would say, if I'm not mistaken. In any case, guys, hopefully we'll be able to have a more in-depth discussion in the comments. Please don't fight anyone, and I'll see you on the next video, guys. I'm looking forward to your comments. Bye-bye. Now you can get full access to exclusive content, special reactions to shows, series, anime, full movies, and even request a video of your choice. Just become a YouTube member or join Buy Me a Coffee today. Find out more, the link is in the description.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right.